thank you so much for making time for me. I really appreciate it. F1 is an amazing film. My dad used to record the F1 races on VHS when I used to live at Queens Road back in the day.
Queens Road.
Yeah. So yeah, I really appreciate the fact that you guys are making time. So the first question I have is for you, Kerry. I really love how your character's role is more than just like her job title as a technical director. She's having to respectfully manage the egos of the driver while having to technically innovate at the same time. And I just love the kind of like the duality that she has in that film. I'd love to know what it was like for you kind of embodying that character and what you're proud of.
What I'm proud of was there wasn't a certain amount of stamina into the shoot because it was like on and off over 2 years. And a lot of the stuff was filmed very much out of order. Like there was like 4 or 5 months in between certain scenes. Like the scene in Vegas, we did the second part of the scene first and then the other one like months later. So that was kind of a hard one to get my head around. And particularly with the flirtation with Sonny, like kind of trying to figure out how much I had to do and how much I hadn't done. That was a tricky one. But overall, it was just fun, really. And yeah, just giving Joe like options. And it really felt like the most fun I've ever had on a job.
I love that. And for you, Damson, one thing I noticed is there's like racial elements of the film that's sprinkled throughout that I find really interesting. One, the fact that he's one of only 2 black drivers on the grid, like even, you know, his relationship with his mom, how he kind of tackles his own ego as well, especially in certain parts of the film. I'd love to get your perspective on that and just kind of what it was like for you to be in that environment, knowing these things as well.
Yeah.
So
I think it was really cool because, you know, the Lewis set out to make this movie a representation of a world of Formula One that he wants to see. So I was able to exist freely just as a young kid from East London. From talking to the other drivers, I know what it would have taken for someone like Joshua Pearce to make it into Formula One. Like many of the drivers, he'd have to go through karting and get sponsorships and everything. And then the connection with Sarah Naza's character, Bernadette Pierce, and understand that, you know, he's lost his father and his father would have been one of his biggest fans too. So the beauty of playing Joshua was, regardless of race, he's someone that you could relate to. And I think as black actors, we need to play characters that represent that more often, so that we could bring more people to the theater to see the work.
yeah. I was speaking with Jerry before and he was mentioning the tight window that you guys have to get a lot of these scenes done. And you both actually mentioned the fact that there's no like 3-4 takes. It's either 1 or 2 takes and that's it. So I'd love to know how else this film has like pushed your acting abilities as well.
I think I always had an appreciation for the crew. Like I started very young, and so I was very chatty with the crew, and they were very kind to me, the crew. So I always sort of learned about different departments. But this kind of furthered that for me because you really did have to help each other. Like you to help focus or you to help because we were under such a time constraint. But then we all had a big celebration together at the end. It was very much cast and crew were sort of one on this job.
Yeah, it really felt like theater. But going back to her point, I think of people, Moneypenny and Lukash, who kind of operating the cameras. I mean, it's a dance with them.
And they're right in front of you.
They're right in front of you, and we're at live races. There's hundreds of thousands of fans. There's people running around. Brad Pitt's the same fame as Jesus Christ. So everyone's following him, trying to get pictures. There's cameras everywhere, and we're trying to do these scenes. And so I think the rehearsal was very important. Joe focused on that. We had a stopwatch to make sure that we'd get the take at the right time, you know. So there were so many elements of it that we had to put into account. Yeah.
All right, here we go. F1 the movie.